Stop? That 70% cocoa chocolate bar you're holding? There's a very good chance you don't actually know what that means. One part of chocolate gives you antioxidants, one part is almost pure fat. And if you mix them up in baking, you can completely ruin your recipe. So today, you're going to finally understand the difference between cocoa solids and cocoa butter in a simple way that actually makes sense. And wait until you hear why one of these is used in lotion more than food. Let's break it down. First, here's something important. Cocoa solids and cocoa butter both come from the same thing. The cocoa bean. Yes, the exact same bean. So how do they turn into two completely different ingredients? Here's what happens. After the beans are harvested, they're fermented and roasted. Then they're ground into a thick paste called chocolate liquor. Now, this is where things get interesting. That paste is pressed under very high pressure. When it's pressed, the fat gets squeezed out. That fat becomes cocoa butter. And what's left behind? The dry, dark material becomes cocoa solids. Same bean. Two totally different results. Now let's talk about how they feel and taste. Cocoa butter is pale, smooth, and melts very quickly in your mouth. It smells like chocolate, but it barely tastes like chocolate. Cocoa solids are dark, bitter, and intense. They give chocolate its strong flavor and deep color, so if chocolate tastes rich and bold, you can thank the cocoa solids. If it feels smooth and creamy, that's cocoa butter doing its job. But here's the real question, which one is actually healthier? Let's clear up a big myth. When people say dark chocolate is healthy, they're not talking about the fat. They're talking about cocoa solids. Cocoa solids are packed with antioxidants called flavonoids. These may help support heart health. They also contain small amounts of caffeine and theobromine, natural stimulants that can boost alertness. Plus, cocoa solids provide minerals like magnesium and iron, so most of the health benefits you hear about, they come from cocoa solids. Now let's look at cocoa butter. Cocoa butter is almost entirely fat. It doesn't contain antioxidants, it doesn't contain caffeine, it doesn't provide the same minerals. But, and this is important, it plays a huge role in texture and stability. It melts at body temperature, which is why chocolate feels so smooth when you eat it. So which one is healthier? If you're looking for antioxidants and nutrients, cocoa solids win. If you care about texture and mouthfeel, cocoa butter is essential. And this difference also explains something surprising, why one is used in lotion. Yes, lotion. Cocoa butter is used heavily in skincare products. Why? Because it melts at body temperature. It spreads smoothly on the skin. And it forms a protective barrier that helps lock in moisture. That's why you see cocoa butter in lip balms and moisturizers. Now, let's go back to food. In baking, cocoa solids give you chocolate flavor in brownies, cakes, and cookies. Cocoa butter gives chocolate its snap and smooth melt. Here's something many people don't realize. White chocolate contains cocoa butter, but no cocoa solids. That's why it tastes sweet and creamy, but not deeply chocolatey. Now, let's answer a very common question. Can you swap them in recipes? Short answer, no. Cocoa butter cannot replace cocoa powder. It has no strong chocolate flavor. Cocoa powder cannot replace cocoa butter. It has no fat. If you swap them, the texture and taste will be completely off. And this leads to something you see every time you buy chocolate. What does 70% cocoa actually mean? When you see 70% cocoa on a chocolate bar, that number includes both cocoa solids and cocoa butter. So 70% means 70% comes from the cocoa bean. The remaining 30% is usually sugar, and sometimes milk. Here's the key insight. A higher percentage usually means more cocoa solids and less sugar. That's why 85% chocolate tastes more bitter. But here's the twist. A higher percentage does not automatically mean better quality. If there are too much cocoa solids, the chocolate can taste harsh and dry. If there's too much cocoa butter, it may feel smooth but taste weak. Great chocolate is about balance, and now you finally understand what most shoppers don't. Let's make this simple. If you're baking and want a strong chocolate flavor, buy cocoa powder. That's cocoa solids. If you're making homemade chocolate from scratch, you'll need cocoa butter for structure and smoothness. If you're choosing chocolate for health, go for 70% or higher. That usually means more cocoa solids and less sugar. And if you're making DIY skincare, choose pure cocoa butter. Just remember, they are not interchangeable. Cocoa solids are what give chocolate its rich flavor and powerful antioxidants. Cocoa butter is the natural fat that gives chocolate its smooth, creamy texture. Same bean, completely different roles. Now, when you see cocoa percentages on packaging, you'll know exactly what they mean. When you bake, you won't accidentally grab the wrong ingredient. And when someone says chocolate is healthy, you'll know which part actually matters. You've officially unlocked chocolate knowledge most people never learn. And the next time you pick up a chocolate bar, you won't just taste it, you'll understand it. If you learned something new today, hit that like button and subscribe for more simple food breakdowns like this. And tell me in the comments, do you prefer dark chocolate or white chocolate?